the abbot, and initially we thought it might just be death by natural causes, which wouldn't be much fun in a murder mystery. Then we thought maybe an allergic reaction to one of Brother Norman's bees, but then the symptoms didn't fit that either. In fact, the symptoms fitted only one thing, which was death by poison.
Yes, and we strongly believe the poison was made from one of the plants in the Abbey's garden. Possibly deadly nightshade, which we noticed growing there, amongst other strange things.
And everybody had access to the gardens, but only the 2 or 3 people who really knew what they were doing in there with the herbs. There was the Mistress Berry, the cook, Sister Florence, the herbalist, and Brother Matthew, who took a lot of interest in what Sister Florence was teaching.
Why would anyone want to kill the abbot?
It's a good question. Why, indeed, would anybody want to kill the abbot? And the thing is, the more we looked into the interviews and the people concerned, the more we realised that anybody could have done it, and everybody had motives. Even those who had taken holy orders seemed to suffer from the same vices and weaknesses that everybody else has. Brother Richard possibly wanted the abbot's job. Possibly was upset at his plan not being accepted by the abbot. Mistress Berry would lose most of her recipe book if she wasn't allowed linguadama. Brother Matthew was going to lose Sister Florence if the abbot's plans went through. So anybody could have done it.
Indeed, Finlay. So we had to consider everything. And there were a few things that occurred to us. Sister Florence, you told us you'd only used your herbs as a poison once to kill an infestation of rats at Dunfermline Abbey. However, when I passed through Dunfermline Abbey, I spoke with the sisters there, and they live a very simple lifestyle and are committed not to kill any animals, which would, of course, include rodents. Well, wait, just let me finish. And also, the nuns at Dunfermline eat only a vegetable diet. Yet, the Mistress Berry told us that on the night Father Harold died, everyone had eaten the same thing, which was mutton stew. Which started us, making us wonder, were you really from Dunfermline Abbey?
And then when we spoke to the Mistress Berry, she told us that her daughter was expecting another child. And yet we knew that she had been widowed last year sometime. Which begs the question, who is the father of the child?
What has that to do with it all?
Patience. Patience, Brother Richard, patience. And then, when we spoke to Sister Florence, we wondered, what would her motive have been? Surely not just because she was going to be sent back to Dunfermline Abbey. Hardly cause for murder.
We also wondered about the burned letter in Father Harold's cell. Who burned it? Where was it from? At first we thought it was from another abbey, and then we found out it was actually from the Lady Abbess at Dunfermline Abbey. Sister Florence, did Father Harold tell you that he'd had the letter, and that he suspected that you were not really Sister Florence? I thought so, yeah.
And our suspicions were confirmed when late last night we had a visitor at our door. Our visitor was the real Sister Florence. That's the real story.
Sister, perhaps you could explain to us, please.
I will, certainly. Some weeks past, I was putting my medicine and herbs together, ready to make the journey here to Lindores, when I was called to see my abbess. She told me she had received a letter from our abbey on Iona, where there had been an outbreak of Hebridean fever, and I was required forthwith to help tend the sick. So I finished my packing and made the long journey across the sea to Iona, and was somewhat confused when I arrived to discover there was no fever, Hebridean or otherwise, and that I was not expected. This was very confusing and quite concerning, but I was exhausted, so I took a few days to recover before making the long journey back here to Fife. And sadly, I was a little delayed by the bad weather and by the Caledonian ferry. So I only arrived here last evening.
I think you better explain yourself, sister.
I think I owe you an apology and perhaps an explanation to everybody. Just let me slip off my wimple. I am actually Cecilia.
You're breaking my heart.
I'm Cecilia from Abernutley. I am the older daughter of Mary Berry and the elder sister of Rose. And when I heard that my dear sister was with child and without husband, I came to find what had been happening. Didn't I, Rose?
It's true, I'm afraid. Oh, one night when serving the abbot some of his nightcap, me and him had one too many of the liquid amber, and well, so I went to my mother and told her, and bless her heart, she tried to help me by giving me meals to help with the unborn child and my children. But the abbot denies the child was his. So I confided in my older sister Cecilia, who then came up with the idea that she should pose and come and work at the abbey, and then she would be able to get the trust of the abbot and convince him that he should help me, because if not, she should tell all the brothers of his ungodly and unholy sin, and she could threaten him to give me silver for my unborn child.
Let me say, I had no plan to kill Father Harold. I came to protect my sister. I thought when I started talking to Father Harold, I would be able to persuade him. But alas, my charms failed. He said no, he would not support Rose. So then I thought that I would just give him something to make him a little ill. And while he was recovering and I was nursing him in such a compassionate manner, he would be open to my persuasion that if he didn't stand down as abbot, I would disclose his secret to the rest of the monks.
Yay.
Unfortunately, my knowledge of poisons and herbs is not quite perhaps as good as I thought it might have been, and it was a great surprise to find him dead.
Cecilia, can you perhaps enlighten us as to how you got the poison into the abbot?
Well, yes, you remember that he had a headache, so I made up a potion and I took it up to him, and offered to put it in his nightcap to help relieve the symptoms, which is what I did. He drank the nightcap and off I went. I came back the next morning, expecting to find him slightly ill, but when I found he was dead, I've noticed there was a letter there, which I thought I'd better remove.
So, sister, it was you that had burned the letter then, not Father Harold.
That is correct. I thought I'd better burn it before...
Dear me. Well, Norman, take Cecilia to a cell locker till we find out what to do next.
Brother mustn't take me.
Well, Miss Marble, I should thank you very much for your help, and we have solved another mystery.
Certainly, Finley, it was my pleasure. And now, Brother Richard, I think you will understand why Father Harold decided to cease production of liquid amber. He was trying to protect you and all the other brothers from being distracted from their holy duties, as he was.
Just another one of his dirty habits. I think perhaps, before we drink a toast, we should perhaps ask Father Harold if he can rejoin us. Father Harold! He's made a miraculous recovery, thanks to my